Am I the a-hole for calling off my wedding and telling my fiancé to move back home with mommy? I'm not going to try and swing this in my favor here by leaving out details or sugarcoating anything. I was mean about it. He was crying. I've been with my fiancé for 7 years and we have been engaged for 3 years. We have gone ahead and tried to do a save the date 4 times now, and every single time, his mom convinces him to postpone. It's always a well, don't you think you have bigger things to worry about? Whether it be our living situation we are renting and she thinks we should buy first because we aren't stable, or our money situation, this was her excuse after we loaned her $8,000 so she didn't lose her house. But we have plenty of money, as my husband's an RN. And I'm a lawyer. It's just always something. We planned for a family gathering in my mom's backyard. She has 3 acres and a beautiful pond, and it's just perfect. And we are doing a potluck. So, very low-cost wedding. Plus, everyone we know lives within an hour of the location, so only giving a month or 2 notice is perfectly acceptable in our case. With all this said, his mom has 0 reason to try and sway us against it. But her newest argument is that we need to wait until our daughter is at least 3 so she can be our flower girl. She's 7 months old. Well, in December my husband and I talked and we decided we wanted to get married in August. I told him don't let your mom dictate it, and he said he wouldn't and that he was tired of listening to her. Fair enough. But last weekend my mother and his mother both came for dinner, and I was talking to my mom about what dress I wanted her to wear as the matron of honor. My husband's mom asked when we planned to tell her we had decided on a date, and my husband said when we told everyone else. She just said oh and got quiet and took leave maybe 20 minutes later. He had already made plans to go over to her house after dinner to help her with her cable box, so he left shortly after that to head over to her place while I drank some wine with my mom. When he got back he was super quiet but said he was just tired and went to bed. But last night he said, at random, my mom kind of has a point. Maybe we should wait until we buy a house so our living situation is a bit more stable. She's not wrong in saying that it should be something we are worried about. I just went silent and didn't comment because I was pissed off. But he kept making comments, like it'll only be a couple of years, 5 at most. I just took my ring off and handed it to him and said I was no longer interested. He immediately started protesting and trying to put the ring back on my finger, and I wouldn't let him. I said I was no longer interested in marrying him and maybe he should move back home with mommy. Because I know for a fact that that woman will make up another excuse the second we buy a house, and I'm really just so turned off at the thought of marrying him at this point because I have 0 business being with a man who has no backbone and would put our lives on hold in favor of a woman who still wants to scrub his back in the shower, as I said. I was mean about it. But to clear it up now, no, she has not said she wants to scrub his back in the shower, but she often talks about how she had to help him shower for months when he was 16 because he broke his leg, and, as the story goes, he told her he didn't want help and she forced it because she's fucking weird. And it's even weirder that she still talks about it like it was a fond memory to see her 16-yo naked. He's crying at this point and I'm stupid calm, maybe because I'm over it, and told him I wanted him to leave or I could leave. But those were the only options. He ended up leaving, sobbing the entire time. I do feel bad. I feel gutted. He means everything to me. But I can't do this anymore. His mom has been blowing up my phone with texts, trying to plead her case, and I just texted back and said no, it's fine, you won. Now you can have your baby boy back full time. And blocked her number. My friends think I'm wildly overreacting. Edit, sorry for confusion. I call him my husband by habit and have since before we got engaged. Am I the a-hole for last minute declining to go to a friend's wedding that is dry on New Year's Eve? My buddy 33 male is getting married to a girl that our friend group is not in love with. He loves her though, so we support him. We have known for months this was a New Year's Eve wedding. IRSVP. Yes, months ago with my wife. Several friends and I operated under the assumption that there would be booze at the wedding, especially considering it is on New Year's Eve. Well, I found out yesterday that it is a dry wedding. Turns out it is because of his fiancée and her family. I asked my wife if she knew this and said no and was pissed. I texted the groom buddy and asked. He confirmed this. I told him this is something you should have told us a long time ago. I told him that wife and I wouldn't be going. We want to spend the night drinking. I texted the rest of my friends about this and oh boy, the group chat went off. This led to several more people backing out. This is not how a bunch of us expected to spend New Year's Eve. Really, the only ones that didn't back out are the 4 members of our 12-person group that are in the wedding. Groom buddy reached out to me and went off. Pretty much he is now overspending on catering. He's having 20-ish less guests show up than planned and this is all last minute. I've been called an asshole among other things for leading the charge in people not going to the wedding. Am I the a-hole for outshining my sister-in-law's wedding by throwing an extravagant birthday party for my 5-year daughter a day after? Sister-in-law and most of her family is upset with me because of a recent situation. My brother got married with sister-in-law at a small church by our house. My daughter's birthday was the day right after and it was perfect because all the family was in town anyways for the wedding. My husband is a surgeon and he loves to spoil our daughters and I love planning parties. So I booked a really nice garden venue and made it a Princess Carnival theme for all the kids and adults to enjoy together. It was a beautiful event, but towards the end of it, I got pulled into the bathroom where sister-in-law was upset and crying saying a 5-year-old outshone her wedding. Then she got mad at me saying it was disrespectful to schedule the birthday party near her wedding time and not talk to her about. However, it's not like I can change the day my daughter's birthday falls on and sister-in-law was invited to my daughter's birthday weeks in advance, so it's not like I dropped it on her last minute. I think it's pretty crazy. She's getting jealous over a little girl, but quite a few family members on her side are saying I'm in the wrong. Am I the a-hole for wearing a wedding dress at a wedding? So my friend 20 female and I 19 male have been friends for a few years and she recently got engaged. A week ago, I got a DM from her for a small costume party she was hosting as a celebration for her getting engaged. I asked if there was a theme and she said there wasn't. I'm a cosplayer, so I had a lot of choices. I didn't want to rock up in an anime cosplay, so I thought it would be funny to go to an engagement party as the corpse bride. I arrived at her house yesterday and everything seemed normal. A few people complimented my costume and I was having a lot of fun. After 10 minutes, my friend's fiancé walked out in a black tuxedo and announced this was actually their wedding. Apparently, my friend saw a video of someone doing this and wanted to do the same. He asked us all to go to the backyard for the ceremony to begin. I went straight to him. I asked him if I should quickly go home and change my outfit and that I would get back before it started. He told me it was fine since I didn't know this was the wedding. I trusted him and followed everyone outside. They got married and everything seemed good. The reception was just in their house again, so everyone just walked back inside and picked up where they left off. I tried talking to my friend and celebrating with her, but she kept making excuses to not talk to me. I assumed it was just because she was tired from the big day and wanted some alone time. I didn't bother her after that and the party soon ended. I got home and half an hour passed when my phone started getting notifications. I checked and it was my friend texting me. She was cussing me out and telling me how I ruined her wedding. I was really confused and asked what I did. That only made her more angry. She told me it was basic knowledge not to wear a wedding dress to a wedding. I reminded her I had no idea it was a wedding and that I asked her now husband if I should change and he said it was fine. She didn't respond, but I got a text from her husband. He asked why I would tell her. He said it was fine. I told him. He said it was fine. Then he said how I should have changed anyways and it's my fault that the two are now fighting over this. I've tried texting her that I was sorry, and if I had known I wouldn't have done it. I woke up today and saw her and her husband have blocked me on everything. So, am I the a-hole for not changing out of the wedding dress when I found out it was actually a wedding? Edit. I am a guy. I cosplayed the character Emily from The Corpse Bride and had blue paint all over. I'm also Australian and I've never heard a costume party meaning fancy. Everyone was dressed up in funny costumes. Like and subscribe to see more videos.